Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Steves, and we're going to be talking about the paleo diet. We're going to analyze nutritionally what the paleo diet offers, as well as some concerns with the paleo diet, and what we would recommend is a more ideal diet for the goals associated with the paleo diet. Because usually that's what's going on with people following certain diets because they have certain health goals. So stay tuned. We're going to be getting into that today. Again, my name is Jason Steves. I'm a nutrition professional at the Nutrition and Health Center, and I'm joined by Steve Steves, who is a certified clinical nutritionist and naturopath, founder of the Nutrition and Health Center. And as I mentioned, today we're going to be diving into the paleo diet. So, Steve, have you heard of the paleo diet before?
Yeah, it's been around for a few years. Interesting concept. Got some pros and cons. It'd be good to go through them. I'm excited to share that information.
Yeah.
And again, all of it in light of the most well-studied diet that
Mm.
has biblical reference, that has the most impact on disease reversal and healing of the body, and that is the Mediterranean diet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we always speak in light of that.
Yeah. So the paleo diet, it's also called the Paleolithic or caveman diet, based on the idea of eating in a way that mimics the diet of early humans before agriculture. So I think a lot of people, they get into wanting to eat closer to the way we were originally eating. I think that's the way that the people think when they think of the paleo diet. Well, this is how we always ate, when we were before civilization. I think that's how people think about it. The goal often is to support health by consuming whole nutrient dense foods that our body, can, what does it say? Are thought to genetically adapt to. That's interesting. But that's a good concept to get into as well, is understanding our body's genetic adaptation, or you could also think of the word epigenetics, how our genetic expression gets plays out based on our environment and lifestyle. So, core principle number one of the paleo diet is to focus on whole unprocessed foods.
That's good.
Good. We love that. Eat whole unprocessed foods as much as you can. That's going to be helpful. Mediterranean diet, if you follow a good quality Mediterranean diet, that will also have whole unprocessed foods.
Well, they focus on meat that can be hunted, and that could be unclean animals too, like pigs,
Right.
wild boar, and so
So that's
forth.
principle number two, high proteins, high in protein from animal sourced
Yeah, good
options.
sources, at least 3 times a day. We encourage that. But we don't encourage the unclean meats because of the toxicity level, the impurities in the meat, and they're just not as clean for
Yeah.
metabolism for humans.
And that's kind of a slight adjustment that we make even to the Mediterranean diet, because the typical Mediterranean diet, some of those will say it's okay to have shrimp, it's okay to have pork. Some of those
Yeah.
will say that, but we follow a more biblical focus or emphasis in regard to eating.
Yep, biblical
Yeah.
emphasis with the Mediterranean foundation, which is what the Mediterranean diet is,
Yeah, yeah.
it's biblically focused.
Now, so that's the second principle, high protein. That's all, that we are okay with high protein. Now, the high protein really, we would say, is about 30%. Is
Yeah,
ideally you want to get about 30% of your diet is protein source, and it may not necessarily be all animal. There's other ways you can get protein in. We'll talk about that.
yeah, which is eliminated in this diet.
Right. So, rich and healthy fats. Again, good principle. An important thing. They encourage nuts and seeds, avocados, coconut, olive oil, all as well in the Mediterranean diet. Very, very good there. Um, Moderate in carbohydrates from whole food. So, getting some carbohydrates, but yeah, moderate. Go ahead.
I saw the note about they also avoid the industrial oils, the seed oils like soybean,
Yes.
canola, corn oil, the high omega-6
Yeah.
oils that cause a lot of inflammation and tissue breakdown.
Right. Yeah, that is back to that third principle, rich and healthy fats, avoiding the bad fats, those industrial seed oils. Yes, soybean, canola oil. Yeah. Now, the moderate carbohydrates, they're encouraging to from whole foods like fruits, starchy vegetables, root vegetables. Again, thumbs up there.
Yes.
Good Mediterranean diet, very good. Now, one of the things that the paleo diet that they say to avoid is grains and legumes. So we've got a little bit more clarity that we need to kind of shed light to that. Some people have shared, okay, they avoid grains and they're much better off. We've noticed that too. There are some people that do much better on not having any grains. Their body's able to recover and digest better. So that, but that may not necessarily be the case for everybody.
I think the case for most people there, Jason, is that they need to do it more in moderation because when
Yeah,
someone comes in
right.
on their initial visits, you know, how they fill out that day of diet, what they consume. Usually there's 3 times a day they get some kind of grain intake.
Right.
And you could
Too
get,
many
yeah.
grains. Yeah.
Now I focus on 1 grain a day, and if I work out really hard or I'm outside working, I'll do a second grain.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing, I sleep better.
Mm,
I've got more energy,
mm,
and it helps me to burn more fat in doing that. And it
right.
shocks me sometimes when I tweak a little bit more grain,
Yeah.
healthy grains. Like
Right.
your mom made some healthy cookies and really healthy cookies. And it's a real crumbly, like I'm not even sure what the grain is.
Cassava or almond
Okay,
flour,
something like
maybe
that.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah.
And so when I eat a couple of those, it's like a power vitamin. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel quite a bit of energy,
Yeah.
and I get on the scale like I lost weight eating a couple more grains than I normally do.
Mm.
So grains can have benefit, but you want to choose a quality grain because there's a lot of misconceptions out there. And then, of course, the legumes.
Yeah, so the paleo diet encourages avoiding legumes. I think when we did the other diet, they also encouraged avoiding
Yeah,
legumes.
yeah, there's a
And
lot of
so
that.
there's a lot of information being put out telling people to avoid legumes. And we would encourage people to look more carefully into that subject because what we found in you over 30 years helping people with their health is that legumes actually are really nutritious and really beneficial to health.
They are.
And so, can you explain why people are saying that legumes are bad? And then also explain how to better understand legumes and better consume them for health.
Just in general, you know, you don't have to get into real specific details about lectins and other plant compounds that are in all fruits and vegetables and legumes. But legumes are just hard to digest.
Okay.
And so it helps to have them soaked ahead of time.
Okay. Soaking
If you
legumes.
make a sprouted legume, you've got a really nutritious food, and it's just rich in protein and fiber and
Hmm.
phytonutrients. In fact, one legume that got a lot of bad rap for years is because it was a political play. It
Mm.
was influencing the dairy industry, and that was soy.
Mm.
And soy has such therapeutic effects. We've done copious amounts of soy for 30 years, but non-genetically modified, of course.
Right.
It was altered, but legumes have so much value. We cannot tell you enough about that one.
Yeah.
And everybody should have at least a legume serving a day. If you live in Israel, you'll get that if you go out to a restaurant. When we
Hmm.
were traveling over there, every restaurant serving
Hummus.
hummus,
Yeah.
right, for a snack instead of what we
Yeah.
serve in America.
Garbanzo beans.
Yeah, great, easy to digest protein, especially because it's whipped up
Hmm.
after the beans are boiled
A little
and
bit easier
mashed.
to
And
get the nutrients.
yeah, then the
being in.
nutrients come out of it easier, not as hard to digest.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's something that is we would encourage people to look into a little more carefully with legumes and then try different, legumes that you might not have tried before and see how your body does. Some people do complain of, certain digestive disturbances when taking legumes, right? Some people say, well, I have more gas or, and that may be from the way that you're consuming it. You mentioned, having legumes soaked. What that means is you're buying the legume in the bulk section and not buying it in a can. And that's something that can make a big difference.
Yeah,
Is
for
if you
sure.
buy it in the bulk section and then you're the one preparing it, can make a big difference on the quality and your body's ability to take in the nutrients. So soaking and rinsing the legumes. I think depending on the legume, certain beans, it's a good idea even to soak overnight. And then the next morning you kind of rinse them and then prep
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And so those can be really nutrient dense. So legumes have big important nutrients in them. Like they've got great source of carbohydrates, they've got a great source of protein, and they've got great source of fiber. So it's very, very nutritious food. If you can get legumes in your diet, you mentioned one serving. If you're a bigger person, two, maybe three servings a day of legumes can be really, really great for your health. So we would encourage you to kind of make that adjustment to your diet. If you're following a paleo diet, look into that. Consider incorporating legumes. So we already talked about that, grain and legume
Hmm.
free. Now, we were talking about the grains. So whole grains is the best way to go about it, right? So like quinoa, barley, brown rice, wild rice. These
Millet,
these are
millet.
going to be much better option. Millet.
There's a millet and rice ramen that's out there that's delicious.
Yeah.
It's a high protein millet and easy to metabolize.
Yeah.
You can't even tell the difference between that and regular pasta. It's
Yeah.
delicious.
And then dairy free mostly. So I think that some people that are following the paleo are okay with dairy if you're getting it fresh. And that makes sense. If you get fresh dairy, that's having a serving a day is probably a good idea. But most of the issues with dairy that we're dealing with in our society is all the processing,
Yeah.
all the chemicals that are given into the cows in regard to medications and different things, and then the process that goes through, the pasteurization kills a lot of the nutrients.
And the
So,
homogenization then changes the molecular structure of some of the protein and it doesn't assimilate well. But we can't deny the fact that cow protein, casein proteins are not easy to
yeah,
assimilate in humans,
right.
and they cause a lot of inflammation.
Yeah.
Probably the most inflammatory of all considered foods. I think the only real, if you look at it from a creation perspective, mother's breast milk, then you're weaned and
Right.
you're done.
Right, right.
Now,
Yeah.
we can get something similar to mother's breast milk, which are the smaller animals like goat and sheep, cheeses and milks. Those are going to be more easily assimilated and digested by humans. But cow's milk,
Right. So one of our mentors, our main mentor, Dr. Russell Jaffe, he has a test that he developed that it's checking the body for immune response. But as he educates people on health and inflammation, how to resolve inflammation, one of the main things that he's found that he teaches the other doctors about is the some of the main issues we have with chronic disease or inflammation, a source of that is undigested food. And you mentioned the proteins in the milk. And so that can add to, like what you're saying, a lot of burden and health issues if we have undigested food. And that being the cow's milk is one of the things that can contribute to that undigested food in your digestive
yeah,
tract. So,
that it's good you brought that topic up.
yeah.
If you've heard of this condition called protein mimicry, what happens in the body is protein structures are made up of peptide bonds of amino acids all tied together. And so the body has to split apart those amino acids for individual amino acids to come in, and the body utilizes them for various structure and for hormones and neurotransmitters. But when we consume a food like a dairy, it has a protein structure that is similar to the structure of your pancreas. And so
Mm,
when the body sees a lot of these inflammatory protein peptide bonds coming in from the casein bound proteins in milk, then it gets confused. The immune system looks at the pancreas and looks at this protein coming from milk and sees the similarity, and it doesn't like the protein that causes inflammation from the milk. And so it starts to think and attack the pancreas as if it were a milk protein because it's very similar in protein structure. And they say that is the number one autoimmune condition that just shuts off the pancreas is type 1 diabetes is often caused by autoimmune reactivity, protein mimicry to milk products.
So that could have a big impact on a lot of people in the U.S. if they
Definitely
make a little shift there.
And
Now, one of the things that I've been trying it and it's been more available in some of the stores is goat milk. Seemed to be a little bit easier on our body, and so it might not be as much of an issue with consuming goat milk if you want to make a little bit of a switch.
Yeah, I agree.
So now, another principle with the paleo diet, no added sugars or artificial sweeteners, doing natural sweeteners like honey and maple syrup. This is another thumbs up. Good principle. The Mediterranean diet that we teach people to do is also encouraging this as well. And then nutrient density for gut health is emphasized with the paleo diet. So getting foods high in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants.
Those are your
vegetables, fruits.
Everything's got a lot of color to it.
And then supports digestive health by eliminating common allergens or irritants. We were just talking about that. Good. And then lifestyle factors are also emphasized when people are following the paleo diet, encouraging good sleep, stress reduction, regular movement, getting outdoors. And so we encourage that as well. So for the most part, it seems like paleo is going a good direction, and we would encourage people to be aware of some drawbacks, some concerns that could happen. Certain nutrient deficiencies may crop up. Iodine is something that we want to consider. Having salt from the sea salt, you can get some of the trace minerals like iodine present through sea salt. But also, we've noticed that people can make a big difference when supplementing with iodine too. And so getting an iodine supplement can help with thyroid health and immune health, hormone health. So big thing that you want to make sure you're doing is getting iodine. Now, B vitamins and fiber might be something that you could be nutrient low in because of cutting out legumes, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So legumes are a source of fiber, as I mentioned, but B vitamins as well. And then whole grains are also a source. So we want to consider supplementing these regardless. So if let's say you're following Mediterranean diet, you're getting legumes, you're getting whole grains. Still, if you're still struggling with health issues, you may still be low in B vitamins. You may still not be getting enough fiber.
B vitamins are used up so rapidly, and we need to replenish them all day long. And the way to know if you're getting enough B vitamins, when they're all together in a complex, if there's enough riboflavin present, your urine will be a sunshine yellow most of the time. When it's adequate B vitamins being metabolized, nice, bright, sunshine yellow urine. So look for that. If it's too clear, you're definitely really low in B vitamins. And if it's too dark, you're probably dehydrated.
Yes, good thought. And then fiber, getting legumes and whole grains, but vegetables. Dr. Atkins, the Atkins diet, they saw great results with people eating 4 cups of vegetables a day. So that's what we encourage in our Mediterranean style diet is people getting 4 cups of vegetables per day. Restrictive and difficult to sustain is another concern. Well, a lot of these diets are that way. Very restrictive, challenging to follow through with. It's understandable. So we encourage you to make a plan, follow the Mediterranean style diet, and make a plan each week, each day of what you're going to do for meals. We've got a food menu that we provide clients at our office. when they do an in-body body composition test here, it gives us your calorie count, and that is the basis for our food menu that we give clients here. So if you are looking for some guidance on your food, we encourage you to come here. People are seeing great results. You can check us out at nutritionhealthcenter.com to see some testimonies. But they get great results, and it's very easy. It's based on serving size. You don't have to measure all your food. You estimate. So usually serving size is like half a cup, or so it's pretty easy to follow. So that's something that we would encourage you to do if you don't have a diet plan or are looking for one to follow. Costs, it says higher costs. We haven't necessarily seen that. If you eat a healthy diet, the paleo diet's mostly healthy. If you eat a healthy diet, you're going to have cost benefit from not having other costs,
right?
Like hospital visits and doctor visits and all these things are reduced big time.
So you can spend more money on quality meats, quality fish,
right?
Yes, organic produce.
Yeah. And that's the tug. And it's an important thing to consider is how much am I spending each year on seeing the doctor for health issues, and how much can I avoid if I eat healthier, live a healthier lifestyle? Says excess saturated fat or protein. They're saying this because it's a high in animal protein diet, which can be an issue, but that if you're eating the right amount,
portions, you'll be fine.
If you eat the right amount and you're not eating the unclean stuff, that's another component.
Yeah.
Is the saturated fat or the bad fats you can get from, and toxins you get from those unclean meats.
And this information may increase cholesterol levels in some individuals. Exactly. Every individual responds differently.
Yeah.
I know vegetarians that crank out cholesterol like a 250 or 260. They eat no meat. Your body produces cholesterol to make hormones. Please write that down somewhere. And don't ever take a cholesterol lowering drug. Ever. If you want to get weak and you want to have premature death, take a cholesterol lowering drug. But if you want to live and be strong and healthy all the days of your life, let cholesterol do its work to make hormones, but make your cell membranes healthier with the fatty acids and with the choline and the magnesium to help with the transport, and watch the energy just go through the roof, regardless of where your cholesterol level is. Your body wants to make cholesterol because it wants to make testosterone and progesterone and cortisol and cortisone and DHEA and all these wonderful hormones that the body uses for so many energy functions.
That's good. Yeah, so cholesterol is something that I think is a often misunderstood issue. The medical field is making it sound like, cholesterol is bad. So get into understanding cholesterol better. You've got a book here you recommend.
Yeah, if you doubt what I'm saying, just look in the research, The Cholesterol Myth, Stephen Sinatra and Johnny Bowden.
Great information here, and you're speaking of that because you see it day in and day out. People you're helping with their lifestyle and nutrition, people getting off cholesterol lowering meds, and their bodies are responding in a positive way. But you're also having people take good fats, omega-3 fatty acids, right? The fish oils, helping with that body's ability to create
and restores brain function. They do link cholesterol-lowering medications to dementia and even Alzheimer's, because those hormones are depleted, brain function depletes. It's tragic.
Well, and a lot of people are taking hormones lately too, like what are they called? The hormone replacement?
Yeah, bioidentical hormones.
They're doing all these hormone things, and they're also taking cholesterol medications.
That's a good topic to get on, and we should go more into how your body uses adaptogen herbs so that at 66 years of age, you can have a testosterone. When it's in my low season, it's about 780, and then my high season, it goes up to 900. But I usually keep it right around 800, and that's just unheard of. Even with men in their 30s and 40s, they have such rapid declining testosterone because they're not doing the basic lifestyle principles, one of them being exercise.
Yeah.
Your body responds really well to exercise and making more steroid building hormones to build up tissue, give you more energy. So
Yeah.
we enjoy that life.
Right. And some other interesting points here. They bring up, giving giving more careful thought into how the people used to eat, and maybe even study history a little more carefully and the different diets over history, known history. There's a lot of assumptions that are made with this ancestral eating, and so that's something we would encourage you to look into. Is don't just believe what people are saying or what they assume was eaten back then.
Yeah.
Look into the history books, and there's a lot of information you can find about the way people used to eat in different civilizations. So. And then the risk of disordered eating. Yes, there's always going to be a challenge if you're, I guess you could say, overemphasizing a certain fad diet or certain label of a diet. If you're overemphasizing something, you can have disordered eating. So, but if you focus on understanding nutrition principles and balancing your diet, that you'll be fine. And focusing on the results, right? Is your result just focused on yourself, or is your result trying to be a better employee, a better husband or father or mother or wife, or all these things that we are as people. God has put us here on earth to be loving and a light to others, a help, a support, serving others. And so that's really where you want the goals connected to those reasons why you're getting healthier.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. So check us out at nutritionhealthcenter.com. We've got opportunities for you to find out a little bit more about what a healthy, balanced diet will be for you. As you mentioned, Steve, we've been talking about it during this video. Mediterranean style eating has the most information, most positive information and research around it. And that's what we teach people to do. Ours is modified, as we mentioned a little bit, avoiding certain types of meats. But we do also tailor it to the individual. So certain individuals might need to avoid certain things. And so we want to tailor it to each
Yes.
person.
Biochemical individuality is what we focus on based
Right.
on the testing.
Yes. So that's the thing is like there are these diets that have principles to follow, but each person needs to kind of figure out their way within that. And so that's a really important thing. So thank y'all for watching. Again, check us out, nutritionhealthcenter.com. If you have some questions, you can call our office as well, 281-440-0024. I'd be happy to talk with you. I can provide a discovery call for you for about 15 minutes where we can just talk about your health concerns and get a little more clarity on how we approach helping you resolve health issues and build abundant health. That's what we're about.
Yeah.
We are a trusted family business here in the Houston area, committed to helping individuals and families overcome disease and achieve abundant health. And so come and see us. We'd love to meet you. But stay tuned next time as well. We're going to be diving into different health principles, different diets over these weeks. We're always coming to you on Fridays. Usually we do it Friday mornings. If you're watching this live, it's Friday morning here in the Houston, Texas area. But the video is posted on our page as well. ProsperNutrition.com page or Prosper Nutrition YouTube page, but we also have ProsperNutrition.com where you can get we actually source all of our supplements on ProsperNutrition.com from food. So that's another thing that you can look into as well. So if you're looking for high quality, great supplements you can trust, you can check out ProsperNutrition.com and then contact us. We're a family-owned business, both Nutrition and Health Center and Prosper Nutrition. We own it, we run it, and we would love to talk with you if you have any questions, when want some help and guidance on supplementation, diet, all these things. So, you got any last words for the folks, Steve?
I just want to thank them for watching and know that God wants you to prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Go after the abundant health that's out there for you. And don't be discouraged. Every day is going to bring challenges, but you are overcomers. You can do it.
Man, thank you. Take care, y'all. Have a good weekend.